Hi, welcome to the Fatherly Edition, a podcast by Tommaso Maggio alongside with a cavalcade of Daddy. Join us! Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fatherly Edition. Today we have the pleasure to have the architect Davide De Visdomini that he spent a lot of time in Asia before he was based in China, if I'm right, and now he moved to Thailand where he has one boy, 1 year boy, and I'll let you to a bit introduce yourself and tell us a bit your experience as daddy, how you change as an architect before having kids, how this changed to your life nowadays.
And after, well, it changes a lot. First of all, thanks a lot for the inviting me to talk in your podcast. It's very, very, very nice initiative. Yes, so as you mentioned, well, I currently work here in Thailand. I work for Chapman Taylor, it's a British firm doing architecture and interior design, and let's say in the last year, before I still worked in some other firms, mainly doing hospitality, and before that, as you mentioned, I was in China for quite some time, mostly Shanghai. So it's been now already over 10 years that I am in Asia, which is quite interesting considering that actually the first time I've been in Asia is like I went for the first job in China. So since then I never basically came back to Europe except for holidays. So this is a little bit the very short version of what I've been doing the last 10 years. How the being a father changed on that, I think quite a lot in very positive way. From my perspective, actually, I'm not super young as a daddy. I think I won't say it was my last trip, but almost. But yeah, let's say I took my time because I knew it's something, being a parent is something that requires a lot of responsibilities, and I wanted to be ready, so I didn't rush it. But maybe I took it too easy, too comfortable. So, but anyway, let's say it was something that finally I decided I wanted to that it was the right. I realized it was the right time. So I'm basically very, very happy, and I'm enjoying every moment of it. This is an amazing feeling, and let's say one thing that I now regret is maybe I waited too long, because I see mentally I think is okay. Of course there will be a generation gap with my son, but on the other hand I'm also I can be quite childish, so I think it's okay. But physically, I would like to have more energies, and less pain in the back when I play with my kid.
I see. So thank you. I don't think there is a right age, to have kids, but everything has changed so fast, and probably with me and you, we are on the same generation. We postpone a bit because we always think there's still time, and of course, with some of us, we say, oh, maybe a bit early. The only consideration is not because it's not enough time, but because physically it's hard to keep up with them. They are full of it. They are a battery that never stop, basically. That is the hard part.
Exactly.
So every jump.
Of course, my trick for that was to get a younger wife than me, so that she can, if I can,
that's balance.
She can cover my back. And also, actually, she's a kindergarten teacher, so that's also something that really helps a lot, because of course she knows how to deal with kids and everything. But yeah, I think it's as you said, it takes a lot of energy, but on the other hand, you do it with a smile. I'm prefer. So so great, and yeah. But then you might need some rest after.
Extra boots, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So it seems as an architect, you really plan everything. So even your wife is already specialized in kindergarten.
Exactly.
Courses are great.
I think too much.
That's a good thing.
Probably.
Yeah, so I think you find each other, and was the right time. So everyone is at their own time. And you mentioned about the generation now. So the difference between you and your boy, and what is about the difference you think in terms of how being daddy between what was your dad with you and how is the difference now you're daddy as well? Do you notice any difference in how the time you spend with your boy, or it was different in the way your father was spending with you, or it was of course a generation things, different timing?
I think I mean, on the one hand, maybe it's a little bit early because my boy is only 15 months, so we really need to see when he will grow up
fresh
and doing exactly do more activities, and then we also see about the time about the generation gap in terms of interest, understanding, but I mean, so far I can see, I mean, of course, there are definitely some difference in terms of generations, right? Because, well, also my father was actually, let's say there was a little difference with me. So in his generation, the model of the family, particularly in Italy, was more traditional. So like the man mostly working and taking care of the family there, and the wife, the mom, like more taking care of the family. But actually in my family, my mother also worked, but at the same time, yeah, there was always this division. Like my mother also was a teacher, now she's retired, but anyway, there was always this division, like so my mother would work and take care of the family, let's say, like with the children, me and my brother, and my dad would work, provide, let's say, for all the provide for the family in general, and but then also would be present, but definitely that time will be less. And of course, maybe compared to now, there was less involvement, let's say, I don't know, changing diapers, these kind of things. But on the other hand, yeah, also my dad was always there, and also present for the education and everything. But yeah, just, like maybe the practical thing were more like done only by the mother, but right now maybe it's more shared. But other than that, I mean, for example, in my specific case, because also the work and everything, actually it's I see pretty much the same kind of pattern than with my original family, because also, yeah, as I mentioned, my wife is also a teacher, and also the way, I think maybe it's kind of culture. So like with my dad, we really like, maybe, let's say, kind of working hard, a lot of time. So it's still like, I mean, I have to say my wife still does the most, so she takes care the most of our son. I help, of course, a lot, but definitely she's the one who does the most.
Yeah, this seems more a matter of timing, nothing else. I mean, no, right? It's family time, of course. One of maybe
timing and experience.
Yes, experience as well, of course.
Because I think, I mean, I personally, I believe in, everybody is equal and gender, but at the same time, also everybody is different, and I think men and women are different. They're not the same. It's not true for me, and they're different in many. In obvious many aspects, some obvious and some less, and each one with their own, let's say, positive things, and I think some aspects, mothers are, let's say, better than fathers to take care of some aspect of the taking care of the children, and fathers can be better maybe in other things. So I see it more like a complementary. I don't believe that father and mother is the same and they should do exactly the same thing, just divide 50% of the time. I don't believe in that. I think there's a complementary. Some things they need to be done by the mother because she knows better how to do them, and also I think children, they need mothers more than fathers for certain things. They live together 9 months before coming to the world, so there must be a reason close to the mom. Exactly, they need to be close. And you cannot change this. You cannot change a mother to a father. It's not the same. But the father has other responsibilities, also very important and everything. So I see it as a complementary. So I'm not sure that it's the correct English word, but you have to complement each other.
No, it's a teamwork. Yes, I think you say right.
Yeah.
So in a team, there's always rules in every team you work on. So, and then because people are specialized or more focused on one thing or another, or more to do one thing or another. Of course, work and try the same things, and then you see the result. Of course, and then experience took by themselves. And that's what.
Of course, you do something like the same. Like I mean, you can sometimes take care. I mean, change the diaper. We can do both, or wash. But other things, I think should be different. So
I mean, we are different anyway, as you say. There are many things that we expect. So what we want to say is that just don't stick to the bias with preconception, because many people before say that. Just try sometime, and maybe you find out even that the reverse of what people say works sometime. No, that's the idea. But if you need to think about something that you struggle with at the moment as father, what can be? If you can point out one thing.
Well, I think I already a little bit mentioned before. I think I struggle with my physical shape. I really, I think for me, I mean, let's say for the enthusiasms that I have, and so I would really like to spend the time and do everything. But then I realized that after some time, my body is really like, begging me to take a break. Like, I would like to hold, my son all the time, of course. But then, the back, is kind of doesn't move anymore.
So your mind is still jumping, but your body say, take a rest now. Because
Exactly.
You're not a kid physically, not a kid anymore. So
exactly. Not physically, more in my mind. But so this is like, let's say, like on our physical level, and then of course I'm struggling with the responsibilities in the sense that trying really to understand what is best to do. Of course, you have the example of your families. You can also get the advice from families, although sometimes can also be disruptive, because in the end, anyway, everybody has to take the decision. There can be different ways to do the same thing, but so trying to really understand what is best for your children, I think is normal thing, especially with the first one now, because everything new. So that's the free struggle. You always questioning, am I doing everything as I should, or am I doing wrong? But actually thinking and wishing to do the best, but there may be always questions. So I think, of course, this is also,
I think what you say, just the fact that you question yourself just to say if you're right or not is already a good point. Because if you say, I'm the best ever, already that we need
definitely not.
I feel that is an experience that we learn by doing. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And of course, I start this podcast just to have more, let's say, suggestion and more to share experience from a father, with more or less experience, but each of us a different way to take care of this role. And that's a good things we can do now, is just networking, to have just share our own perspective. This is not right, no wrong. It's just listen what others are doing on the same point where I'm at the moment. What they did before. It's working for me or not. So sometimes just as you say, listen to others, and then of course you take your own decision.
Yes, and I still think in the end it's always good to listen to your family. You know, they've been there already. They know. And many times they're right. Even maybe you might think different, but then in the end you see maybe they're right, or they might be right. This doesn't mean like not to think and to just follow everything. No, that I think like a sense of responsibility that everything you have to take a decision, make a choice. But on the other hand, I think listening to your family is also very, very important.
Yeah, it's good to have a family that stand with you, to have a family that somehow you can rely on. You know? Because especially when we are here as expat, so we are a bit alone. So your case is a bit different because half of your family is now here. But in general, so family of course is very important network. So you can do with that. So
yes,
and it's good to have it. It's always good to take in consideration. Then of course you are the last person to say, okay, maybe it works for me or not, but at least with somebody you can shake the hand on.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, thanks for pointing out the relevance of the family and the back. And just a couple of questions more. So, how you think that your job allow you to spend time with your boy? So that can you find a sort of balance, or allow you pre or post pandemic?
It is a challenge. I mean, during the pandemic, of course, in this sense was quite good because my son was born last year, of course. So still during pandemic, and actually in Bangkok, like it was like the time that everybody was working from home. So in this sense, actually, it helped a lot because at least the first month I could spend them at home and also helping more my wife and everything. So after that, I think it is challenging because of course in my position I have a lot of responsibilities. It means it's difficult to go to do the working hours actually, and I never done the working hours like sharp and not even close. So this is it's difficult. So there was for example a time that every time I go back home my son already sleeping, so I leave in the morning. Luckily he wakes up early and I wake up early too, so at least I can spend a couple hours in the morning. But anyway, I wasn't really happy, every time I go back and he's already sleeping, so I'm not really able to spend time with him. So I try to change this by making him stay awake long. No, I'm joking. No, but try to
balance. Yes, not easy.
To put some. I mean, some trace some line and try to stick to it as much as possible. It's not always possible, but at least we're trying to do like this so that at least I can spend another hour when I come back before he falls asleep. Yeah. Although there was a period on the other hand that for some reason he was going to sleep like very late. So in that sense, it's not early, but then
at least spend more time. And the lockdown at least.
No, this was actually after the lockdown, but then we tried to anyway to kind of help with the routine so that he could go to sleep earlier, because it's not good for him. It was good for me, but not for him. But so now it's more normal routine. So I'm trying to come back earlier and try to have at least 1 hour with.
Yeah, I assume before they born we have our own routine with the works, and then when they arrive, suddenly you have to find the way to change this a bit in a way or another. It's not always this is not always possible, as you say, But another point that you raise up is just put a line, no, where you can stay until late, for instance, or you say, okay, I must go not because I don't want to finish work, but because I have a life after work, and the life is my son and my family. Of course,
You need to find a way, yes.
to balance.
To finish everything you need to finish and do. Or sometimes, need to travel.
Yeah.
So maybe try to reduce the days that you need to stay out. But yeah, it is challenge. It's not easy.
For sure, and it is for everyone. But I think it's a process as well, no? So to learn, even the company where you work, and now we are after pandemic. People want to change a bit, company it less. So I think there is a matter of time before the things will adjust somehow. So that one last question.
Yes.
What do you learn so far from being a daddy, and what even the lockdown left to you? That was the time when you spend the most of the time with your wife, basically, as you say.
I think what I learned is, and I think what most parents learn, is that you learn to put yourself in second row and put your children in the first row. So it's like maybe before you're focused only on your thing, then this may be like before. Then when you with your wife, okay, you're with your wife, but I think when you're with your children, then it's like both of you actually. Now a lot of the parents, then you just step back and put the child first, your son or your daughter, and that comes before everything. And then of course this doesn't mean that you don't have your own personal life anymore, not at all, but maybe you do it in a different way, because for example, maybe before you travel, for example, you travel, by yourself or with your wife, whatever, but then maybe later on, so instead maybe you travel with your son, and it means maybe you travel in a different way, so you don't do exactly the same things, you do different things, but you still do. So I think it's also good, you can still find a balance to keep what were your interest and so on, but of course the priority change, so then they become like secondary or tertiary.
Yes, they are the focus, the fulcrum of everything at this point. So and then to step back, and you look at which direction they are taking.
Yes,
it's a big challenge.
So it's good actually. The thing for me, the biggest surprise is that all of this challenge, actually for me, they're all, I was surprised to see myself doing them with joy. Is there really no weight at all? It's like, actually, I'm for example, I'm more excited instead of going somewhere, to do my things. I'm more excited to do with the family.
Yeah.
And same things. I'm very excited if I can bring you, I don't know, to some place to play outdoor or with other children. I think it's super. It's not a weight, actually. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah. I think they bring us even open up sort of new opportunity or new perspective that we didn't plan before, of course.
Yes.
Because you can plan, but you don't know reaction, how things goes until they are with you. And then everything changes, I think, as you said. It's a challenge in the way that you don't expect, but at the same time it's good because you are exploring. As they are exploring, both of us are explorer, pirates,
Right.
And I think that's the best things. At the same time, we are both, we have the same boat, so with the two different lands, basically.
Exactly.
So thank you, David. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi! Thanks for listening, the Fatherly Edition. If you like what I've been hearing, please follow Tommaso Maggio on LinkedIn or subscribe to the Fatherly Edition podcast on Spotify